The beast thundered across the chamber, every claw strike shaking the floor, every breath a storm of fire and sparks. The counselors clutched their seats, some shouting for guards, others too stunned to move. Kavax's eyes gleamed with a cruel hope. Yes, finish her. Crush the human once and for all. But Mara only smiled. Her arms opened wide as if she was welcoming the charge. Oh, darling, you're so eager, she whispered. But what happens when I don't move at all? The armored man tensed, ready to leap in. Mara, he barked, don't test it like this. But she didn't flinch. She stood in the beast's path, her eyes burning brighter than its red glow. The monster's jaws opened wide, rows of metal teeth dripping sparks. At the last second, Mara lifted her hand, softly, slowly. Not as a fighter, not as prey, but as if she meant to stroke a lover's cheek. The beast stopped. Gasps ripped through the chamber. The machine creature froze inches from her, its burning breath washing over her face. Mara's hand hovered close to its snout, her voice low and teasing. There now. You don't want to hurt me, do you? The beast's eyes flickered, red glow dimming, confused. Mara smiled, leaning closer. You're not just wires and metal, are you? Someone put an animal's heart inside you. And hearts, she whispered. Always listen to me. She let her fingertips graze the edge of its jaw. The great monster shuddered. Not with rage, with full submission. The armored man's eyes widened. She's taming it. The council erupted, some shouting that it was sorcery, others staring in awe. Kavax slammed his claw against the throne. Impossible! That thing was designed to obey no one but the council! Mara smirked, her hand still stroking the beast's jaw. Maybe you should have tested it on someone less charming. The beast lowered itself slowly, its massive head bowing toward her tucks, like a predator kneeling, like a soldier yielding. The council chamber shook with disbelief. Even the guards, trained to be unshakable, could not hide their astonishment. Mara tilted her head, giving the audience her wicked smile. Well, boys, looks like someone's falling for me, the armored man muttered, half in awe, half amused. Only you could flirt with a death machine and win. But Mara wasn't done. Her voice dropped, softer, sultrier. You see, my Lord Kavax, humans don't just destroy. We seduce. We charm. We turn your monsters into our pets. She kissed 2 fingers, then tapped them gently against the beast's nose. The glow in its eyes shifted from blood red to soft blue. The chamber gasped again. The beast was hers. Mara stepped away, the massive creature padding behind her like a loyal hound. Every counselor's pride cracked under the sight. Kavax rose to his feet, shaking with rage. No! This cannot be! The test is invalid! The machines were sabotaged! Mara turned, stroking the beast's jaw again, her smirk playful. Oh, my lord, denial isn't very sexy. A ripple of laughter, nervous, scandalized, rolled through the chamber. Even the armored man had to cover a grin. But Kavax roared, his fury snapping through the silence. Enough! I will not let humans twist our laws. I challenge you myself. The counselors froze. A chief, breaking tradition, stepping into the ring. Unthinkable. But his pride burned too bright. Kavax dropped from his throne, claws gleaming, his towering body casting a shadow over Mara. Your tricks end here, woman, he snarled. You will face me, without machines, without charm. Mara's eyes glittered. Her voice dropped into a teasing purr. Oh, sweetheart, you really want to get close to me that badly? The armored man stepped forward. Mara, be careful. He's stronger than anything else you've faced. She smirked, never low, looking away from Kavax. Darling, strength is just another thing waiting to be broken. The council chamber shook with anticipation. Kavax spread his claws. This was no ordinary man. Kavax's eyes widened. You You were declared dead in the Titan Wars. The man smirked. Funny thing about death, my lord, it doesn't always stick. Mara circled him slowly, eyes shining with playful curiosity. So, not only alive, but dressed in the council's favorite black. She let her gaze drift down his armor, lingering just long enough to make the council squirm. Tell me, did they give it to you willingly, or did you steal it? He chuckled, the sound deep, dangerous. Wouldn't you like to know? Mara's lips parted in a sly grin. Oh, darling, I'd like to know many things about you. The council erupted in anger. This is blasphemy, one cried. Humans in council armor? Treason, shouted another. But the man didn't move. He only watched Mara with those sharp eyes that seemed to read more than just her words. You're playing a bold game, woman, he said softly. Flirting with lizards is one thing, but me, I'm far more dangerous. Mara's smile never faltered. That's exactly why I like you. The room stiffened. Even Kavax's crest twitched in confusion and rage. Silence! Kavax thundered. His claws dug grooves into the armrests of his throne. This chamber is not a theater for human lusts. Mara laughed, light, teasing, the kind of laugh that made men feel seen and mocked at once. Oh, my lord, everything is theater, even your throne. She turned back to the armored man, lowering her voice so only he and those straining to listen could hear. So tell me, are you here to stop me? Or to see what else I can break? His smirk widened. You want the truth? I'm here to test you. The council gasped. Kavax slammed his claw again. Test her? This is not your chamber to command. But the armored man ignored him. He stepped closer to Mara, close enough that the glow of her eyes reflected on his armor. Everyone here underestimates humans, he said. They think pride, tradition, numbers make them safe. I know better. I've seen what humans do when pushed too far. His gaze dropped, quick, subtle, to her lips, then back to her eyes. But I want to know what you do when temptation pushes back. The council fell into stunned silence. Mara tilted her head, the flirt now sharper, hungrier. You think you can tempt me? She whispered. Darling, you'll find out humans don't just give in. We take control. Her hand brushed lightly along the edge of his armored chest. Not quite a touch, just enough for the council to lean forward in scandalized shock. Question is, she breathed, her voice dripping with double meaning. Do you want me to prove it in front of everyone? The armored man laughed quietly, dark and amused. You really are dangerous. Kavax finally roared, his voice cracking with fury. This is mockery. This chamber belongs to the council, not to human games of lust and lies. But his rage only fed the silence that followed. Because deep inside, even he felt the truth clawing its way up. The humans were not just mocking, they were winning. Mara turned slowly back to him, eyes locking on his with a predatory smile. No, my lord. This chamber belongs to whoever holds your attention. And right now, we both know it isn't you. The silence snapped like a whip. The council was frozen, torn between fury, fear, and something they couldn't admit out loud. Then, the armored man leaned closer to Mara, his words low and dangerous. Careful, keep playing this game, and you may find yourself trapped in it. Her eyes narrowed, lips curving. Sweetheart, maybe that's exactly where I want to be. The counselors gasped again. Kavax's claws shook with rage, and the chamber lights suddenly dimmed, plunging the room into a pulse of red warning glow. An alarm blared through the council chamber, the great doors sealed shut. A voice, not alien, not human, echoed from the hidden speakers. Unauthorized human presence detected. Council security lockdown engaged. Mara stood tall, her smile sharp, her body relaxed. And as they circled each other, the beast at her back growling low in warning. A voice echoed again from the hidden speakers. Low, cold, inhuman. Final phase authorized, initiating full council trial. The walls lit up, revealing even more machines, even more weapons, and a massive hologram of the council seal blazing above them all. But Mara didn't look at the lights. She didn't look at the weapons. She only looked at Kavax. Her voice slid across the chamber like silk. "Tell me, my lord, when I break you in front of your council, will they still call you their leader?" Kavax roared and leapt at her, claws outstretched. The Galactic Council thought humans were weak. They laughed when a single human woman walked into their chamber. Her smile, her eyes, her teasing words were sharper than any weapon they had ever seen. Aliens prided themselves on strength, logic, tradition, but in that moment, they discovered a far deadlier force, a force that could break their pride, turn their arrogance into silence, and leave them stunned forever. What happens when charm becomes the sharpest weapon in the galaxy? Welcome to Predator Protocol, your home for the most thrilling HFY sci-fi stories. I'm your narrator tonight, your voice inside this galactic tale. So sit back, stay sharp, and let's begin the story. The summons came at dawn. Lights rose over the Galactic Council chamber, cold, blue, and perfect. Alien leaders took their seats one by one, tails folding, mandibles clicking, crests lifting with pride. They wore medals, old scars, old egos. They expected a human warlord, a general, a machine. The doors opened. She walked in alone, a human woman, slim, confident, black uniform that hugged like a promise, hair neat, smile warm and dangerous. Her boots were quiet. Her eyes were loud. Every step said, "I am not afraid." The lizard chief, Lord Kavax, lifted his chin. "Earth sends a diplomat?" His voice scraped the air like stone. She did not bow. She did not rush. She stopped at the center circle where the seal glowed, looked up at the ceiling ring of lights, and gave a small, teasing smile. "Earth sends what works," she said, soft, like a secret told in a bar. A few counselors snorted. One with spiral horns leaned to another. "Humans hide behind lips," he hissed. "Lips and lies." She heard it. She liked that he said it. "Only on weekends," she said, eyes still on Kavax. Kavax spread his heavy arms. "You were asked for proof of human strength." He gestured to the guards. The wall, flashed with war images, fleets, planets on fire, casualty counts that could drown a moon. She did not blink. Her gaze drifted across the hollows, then slid back to the chief, slow, playful, like a cat passing a bowl of cream. "Nice lights," she said. "Very scary." Then she stepped closer. "Do they make you feel big, my lord? Or do you always feel this tall?" A hiss rolled around the seats. Someone muttered that humans were rude. Another called her reckless. Kavax's eyes narrowed. "Your species forgot its place." She moved again, one small step, then another, until only a breath lived between her and the chief. Her perfume was clean, bright, a hint of citrus and trouble. She tilted her head, smiled like a dare. "We never had a place," she whispered. "We make one, everywhere." The chamber felt warmer, or maybe hearts beat harder. A bearded elder coughed and looked away. A thin blue alien covered his throat slits with a hand, as if his pulse might jump out. She offered her hand to Kavax, a human handshake, simple, friendly, deadly. "Shall we begin?" she asked. He did not take it, so she let her hand fall, slow, like a curtain, and used her other weapon, her voice. "My name is Mara," she said. "Earth asked me to speak, but I do more than speak." She turned, letting the chamber see her profile, the line of her jaw, the calm in her posture, the curve of a smile that said, I know something you don't. I study pride, she went on. Alien pride, human pride, all the ways it breaks. She faced Kovacs again. Today, I will break yours, without firing a shot. Laughter burst from the back rows. A counselor with bronze scales slapped the arm of his chair. Break Lord Kovacs? With what? That smile? Maybe, she said. It has good aim. He stopped laughing first. Mara leaned in, just enough that a secret could travel without air. If I can move you with words, she said, imagine what humans do when we finally touch. The guard shifted. The audience forgot to breathe. 30 seconds. Kovacs tried to speak. Nothing came out. He could feel his heartbeat, heavy, climbing. Mara lowered her hand. The hollow clock faded. Her voice quieted, almost a caress. You feel it, don't you? The chief's jaw tightened. He refused to nod. He refused to break. She smiled like victory, then turned her head, offering her cheek, the tiniest, simplest invitation. Seal the deal with a human custom, a gentle touch, she said, or prove you're still a statue. His claw rose, stopped in the air, trembled between pride and something new. 10 seconds, 5, 3. The chamber lights flickered. A hidden door opened behind the council throne, and a shadow stepped out. Tall, dangerous, human. Mara's smile changed, the way a knife changes when it's unsheathed. Right on time, she whispered. Kovacs stared between Mara and the new figure, understanding dawning like a slow explosion. Who was this second human, and what would happen if the chief chose the touch? The chamber went silent. Every eye turned to the shadow stepping out of the hidden door. It was a man, human, tall, broad, dressed in a black uniform that matched Mara's. His presence felt heavier than steel, yet his smirk carried the same dangerous humor as hers. The counselors muttered. 2 humans? The council had expected one at most. Was this a trick? A trap? Mara tilted her head, amused. Took you long enough, she said. Her voice wrapped around him like silk. The man just grinned, stopping behind her, close enough that his shadow stretched over her shoulders like armor. Lord Kovacs's jaw stiffened. Earth sent too? The man spoke, his tone calm but mocking. No, my lord. Earth sent, said one woman, and her witness. I'm only here to keep score. He crossed his arms, as if nothing in the room could touch him. Mara leaned against his side, almost casually. See, Council, this is what you don't understand about humans. We don't just fight as soldiers. We fight as partners, in love, in war, in play. Her lips curved into a teasing smile. And sometimes, you can't tell which one we're playing. The chamber buzzed with uneasy whispers. The horned elder muttered, They mock us. A scaled matron hissed, No, they unsettle us. That's worse. Kovacs slammed a claw against the council floor. Enough games. He pointed at Mara. You asked for 3 minutes to prove human danger. Your time is over. The man behind her chuckled. Oh no, my lord. Her time has only just begun. His voice was steady, but his eyes burned with mischief. And you've already proven her point. Look at you, sweating under scales, heartbeat loud enough to shake the floor. Kovacs growled, a deep rumble in his chest. Mara stepped forward again, separating herself from the man. She faced the alien chief, closer now than before. You felt it, she said softly. You won't admit it, but your body already betrayed you. Her hand lifted, hovered an inch from his cheek. Do you know what that means, my lord? She whispered. The counselors leaned forward. Even the guards froze. It means, she paused, lips parting with the weight of her words, that humans are already inside your defenses. We don't need lasers. We don't need fleets. We only need to know where you ache. Kovacs's breath caught, He wanted to swat her hand away, but part of him feared touching her at all. Then she pulled back, slowly, teasingly, like she had stolen something invisible from him. Her eyes glinted with playful cruelty. The man behind her laughed. "Careful, Chief. You're losing, and the game hasn't even started." The chamber erupted in divided voices, some angry, some anxious, some unwilling to meet Mara's gaze. One counselor stood, his skin plated like bronze. "This is manipulation, a circus trick." Kavax raised a claw. The hollows shifted to a human battlefield, a list of lost cities, audio of human cries. His voice rolled heavy. "Your smile will not erase this." He leaned in until their foreheads almost touched. "Convince me humans deserve mercy." Mara did not step back. She lifted one finger and traced a tiny circle in the air between them. Not touching, not quite, but close enough to make the idea of touch feel real. "Mercy," she said. "No." Her eyes softened. "Dangerous. We don't ask for mercy. We offer a deal." Kavax frowned. "What deal?" 3 minutes of your attention," she said. "No interruptions." She let the seconds breathe. "If in 3 minutes your heart rate is unchanged, if you feel nothing, I walk out, and Earth accepts your judgment." "And if I feel something?" Kavax asked. "Then you admit humans are dangerous," she said, smile deepening. "And you treat us as equals." The chamber hummed with whispers. A guard scanned her with a beam, reading for weapons. No metal, no implants, nothing but fabric, skin, nerve, and that smile. Kavax considered. Pride told him to refuse. Curiosity told him to play. His tail tapped once on the floor. 3 minutes, he said. Mara nodded. She raised her wrist. A small hollow clock bloomed above her palm. A gentle human blue. "Begin." She did not speak first. She looked at him. A simple, steady look. The kind that makes a person check their breath, their posture, their mistakes. He tried to stare back like a mountain, but she made the mountain feel seen. "You stand like a fortress," she said at last, voice low. "But your left shoulder tenses when you're tired." He flinched a breath. "You sleep less than you claim," she went on. "You drink in secret, strong, bitter, to keep the ghosts quiet." Her tone softened, almost kind. "How many names do you rehearse at night, Lord Kavax? The ones you could not save." Silence spread like water. Mara moved half a step closer. Not enough to touch, enough to warm the space between them. "You wear armor," she whispered. "I see the man inside it." A ring of counselors shifted in their seats. One whispered, "Is this sorcery?" Another said, "It feels like gravity." Kavax's chest rose, fell, rose again. His claw flexed and unflexed. He tried not to look at the clock in her palm. Mara smiled. Not cruel, not soft, something precise. "Humans fight with guns," she said. "But first, we fight with attention. We watch. We learn the crack in your wall." Her eyes flicked to his neck crest, to a faint line of scar half hidden under royal trim. "We find the place that already hurts. Then we press. Just enough." Kavax's pupils thinned. He forced a laugh. "Parlor tricks." "Maybe," she breathed. "Do parlor tricks make your pulse run?" She tilted her head, hair brushing her uniform collar. "Tell me, my lord, are you more afraid of our fleets, or of what I could make you feel, right here, in front of them?" A gasp rippled through the chamber. The clock ticked. 90 seconds left. Mara turned away from Kavax and looked up to the audience, eyes sweeping over scales, horns, ridges, crowns, holding each gaze for a heartbeat, then the next, until they looked away first. She spoke like a teacher, like a storm. Humans don't win because we're the strongest, she said. We win because we never stop. We joke in the dark. We flirt on the edge. We turn fear into fuel. She smiled at a horned elder who had mocked her. Careful, darling. Your eyes are staying on me a little too long. The elder coughed, faced front, cheeks paling under his plates. 60 seconds. Mara faced Kavax again. Danger close. If I say your name softer, will you listen harder? She let his name rest on her tongue. Slow. Kavax. The sound curled through the chamber like warm smut. Ki. His crest lifted, involuntary, exposed. A private signal in his species, a sign of interest or surrender. Kavax realized what his body had done and froze. 40 seconds. She dropped to the floor, sliding under the beams, legs sweeping one sentinel off its feet. Before it hit the ground, she leaned close to its red eye. Shh, stay down for me, sweetheart. Then she slammed her heel down, shattering the core. The machine twitched, sparks flying, then fell still. The council gasped. One sentinel down, dozens to go. The others swarmed, beams firing wild. The armored man finally moved, stepping into the chaos. With one swipe of his armored fist, he smashed a sentinel in half. With another, he hurled one across the chamber like it weighed nothing. Mara tilted her head, watching him with playful hunger. Strong and quiet. I do like that. He gave her a look, amused. Focus on the machines, Mara. Oh, I am, she teased, ducking under another beam. But multitasking is a human specialty. Together, they moved through the swarm. Mara, fast, teasing, untouchable. The man, brutal, precise, unstoppable. Every move they made fed into the spectacle. The counselors whispered, shouted, argued. Some were terrified. Some couldn't look away. And Kavax's pride crumbled a little more with every fallen machine. One by one, the sentinels fell, until sparks littered the floor and the chamber smelled of burning metal. The last sentinel lunged at Mara, chains wide. She spun into it, pressed a palm against its chest, and whispered with a wicked grin, Darling, you're too desperate. That never works. She tore its glowing eye free. The machine collapsed. Silence fell. The chamber floor was littered with broken sentinels. Mara brushed her uniform smooth, breathing steady. She looked at Kavax, her eyes glowing with victory. Well, my lord, still think humans are weak? The council erupted in chaotic noise, some praising, some furious, some simply shocked. Kavax's jaw worked furiously, words caught in his throat. But before he could speak, a deeper rumble shook the chamber. The walls split further, revealing yet another chamber behind them, and from the shadows stepped something massive. It was no sentinel. It was no soldier. It was a beast. 4 legs, metal hide, eyes glowing red, half machine, half creature, built for destruction. Chains hung from its jaws, dripping sparks. The council fell into silence. Even the armored man froze for a moment. Mara's eyes widened, then narrowed with delight. Oh, now that is a big boy. The beast's roar shook the chamber, rattling the council seats. Mara licked her lips, whispering just loud enough for the guards to hear. And I do love a challenge. The armored man stepped closer to her, voice low. This thing isn't like the others. It won't fall for tricks. Mara smirked, brushing past him, eyes fixed on the beast. Darling, everything falls for me eventually. The beast lowered its head, preparing to charge. The chamber floor trembled beneath its weight. The counselors clutched their seats. Kavax leaned forward, claws tight. Mara spread her arms slightly like welcoming a lover. Her voice dripped with teasing fire. Come on, sweetheart. Show me what you've got. The beast roared and charged. The beast thundered forward, claws tearing the chamber floor, its red eyes locked on Mara like prey. The counselors gasped, some shouting to stop the test, others screaming for blood. Kavax leaned forward, crest trembling with fury. Yes! Crush her. Prove the weakness of human flesh. Mara didn't flinch. She stood tall, arms loose at her sides, a smile curling at her lips. "Oh, you're eager," she whispered. "But do you like to play rough?" The armored man stepped forward, hand rising. "Mara, don't toy with it. That thing was built to kill." She gave him a wicked glance over her shoulder. "Darling, everything in this room was built to kill. I'm still here, ain't I?" The beast roared, jaws snapping, sparks flying from the chains clamped to its mouth. It lunged. Mara darted sideways, her body twisting smooth as silk. "Well, well," she purred, patting its metal shell. "You're a big one, aren't you?" The armored man below called up to her. "Don't get too comfortable. That thing was built to break willpower." She leaned forward, pressing her lips close to the glowing red eye. "Good thing, darling. Mine's unbreakable." And with that, she dug her fingers into the glowing seam near the eye. Sparks flew as the machine shuddered, trying to shake her off. But she held on, hair whipping, uniform tight against her frame, the image of reckless human defiance. The sentinel howled, beams firing wildly around the chamber. Counselors ducked, guards scrambled. The armored man only watched her, a flicker of admiration in his sharp eyes. Then, with a final wrench, Mara tore something free. The sentinel froze. Its lights flickered, and then, slowly, it powered down, dropping to the floor with a thunderous crash. The chamber shook with silence. Mara slid off the machine, dusting herself off. "See? Told you. Machines don't understand women." Some counselors were stunned into silence. Others whispered in awe. Even Kovacs, furious as he was, could not hide the flicker of doubt in his eyes. Mara looked up at the armored man, grinning. "Well, was that tempting enough for you?" But before he could answer, a voice echoed again from the speakers, low, cold, inhuman. "Test 1 complete. Human resilience confirmed. Beginning Phase 2. The walls of the chamber began to move, splitting open, revealing hidden chambers behind them. Dozens of smaller sentinels stepped forward, their eyes glowing red. This time, it wasn't one machine. It was an army. The armored man drew in a sharp breath. "Now, it begins." Mara smirked, brushing hair from her face, her eyes alight with dangerous glee. "Oh, boys," she whispered. "I always did enjoy group challenges." The chamber walls glowed red as the smaller sentinels marched in, dozens of them, their thin arms reaching, their eyes burning. The council gasped, some hiding behind their chairs, others staring in silence. Kovacs roared from his throne. "Yes! Test them both! Break the humans!" Mara's lips curved into a slow, dangerous smile. "Oh, so many toys at once," she purred, brushing her hair back. She glanced at the armored man. "Darling, do you want the first dance? Or shall I?" He smirked. "You already look like you're enjoying yourself. I'll just keep score." The sentinels surged forward, red chains fired, beams snapping through the air. The floor crackled with energy, sealing off exits. Mara didn't run. She stepped into them. Her body bent, spun, twisted, sliding through chains like water slipping through fingers. Each dodge looked effortless, almost playful. A chain brushed her thigh. She gasped softly, then smirked. "Careful, boys. You're getting a little handsy." The armored man chuckled under his breath. Half the council doesn't know whether to fear you or blush. One sentinel lunged too close. Mara flipped forward, planting a boot against its chest, kicking off into the air. She landed gracefully, hair falling across her face, eyes glittering. "Oops. Did I break your focus?" The bronze-scaled warrior, still kneeling at the side, muttered, "She fights like she's teasing death itself." Kovacs growled. His claws tapped furiously on the throne. "Crush her! End this nonsense!" The sentinels adjusted, beams crossing together, trying to trap Mara in a glowing cage. For the first time, she paused. The chains circled, closing in. Mara smiled slyly. "Ah, you want to tie me up properly this time? Her tone dropped into a teasing whisper. You'll have to try harder. The armored man glanced upward, then back to Mara. Looks like your show has an audience larger than you thought. Mara only smiled, her voice soft, sultry, and sharp. Oh, darling. I always perform best with an audience. The chamber shook as heavy doors began to open above the ceiling, something mechanical, massive, descending. A new weapon? A trial? Or something far worse? The humans looked up. The council froze, and the red glow painted Mara's teasing smile brighter than ever. The chamber trembled as the ceiling split apart, metal doors grinding, gears screaming, and from above, something heavy descended. A machine. Not alien, not human. Something built for one purpose: control. It hung in the air like a predator, long metal arms tipped with glowing restraints, a glowing eye at its center, scanning the chamber. The counselors whispered in fear. The Sentinel, one muttered. It was never meant to be used, said another. Mara tilted her head, lips curving into a wicked smile. Well, I guess somebody's afraid of a little flirting. The armored man's eyes stayed locked on the machine. That's no little thing, Mara. That's a weapon designed to break prisoners, mentally and physically. He glanced sideways at her, smirking. Careful. They might try it on you. Mara's laugh was soft, teasing. Darling, they can try, but machines don't understand women. And they sure don't understand me. The Sentinel's eye pulsed red. A cold voice spoke. Human subjects identified. Prepare for compliance testing. Energy beams shot downward, two thick, crackling chains of light. One wrapped around the armored man's wrist, the other lashed toward Mara. She stepped aside with dancer's grace, letting the beam slam into the council floor instead. Oops, she said with a wink. Missed me. The council gasped as the armored man tugged hard, snapping the chain with impossible strength. Dick. The Sentinel recalibrated, its eye burning brighter. Mara placed a hand on her hip, smiling up at it. You want to test me? Fine. But don't blame me if you fall in love halfway through. The Sentinel fired again, faster. This time the beams shot toward her legs, her waist, designed to trap, not kill. But Mara twisted, bent, and spun like a tease in motion, letting the light slide over her without catching. Every dodge looked less like a fight, more like a dance. The bronze-scaled warrior, still on his knees, stared in awe. She toys with it, he whispered. She toys with everything, muttered the horned elder, clutching his robes tighter. Kavak slammed his claw against the throne. This is no game! Lock them both down! The Sentinel shifted, its eye focusing harder. A dozen beams lit the air at once. Mara gave the chamber a sly smile. Looks like I'm going to have to get serious. Her eyes flashed with mischief, or at least, as serious as humans ever get. She sprang forward, sliding under one beam, twisting past another, her body bending low, then high. Every move smooth, deliberate, almost sensual. The chains of light chased her, but she used them like partners in a dance, ducking, spinning, weaving. At one point, a beam grazed her arm, leaving a faint glow on her sleeve. She paused, licking her lips with a teasing smirk. Careful, sweetheart. Buy me dinner before you try to tie me up. The chamber erupted with shocked laughter. Even the armored man shook his head, hiding a grin. Always the jokes, he muttered. But her movements weren't just for show. Every dodge, every tease, was leading her closer to the Sentinel's main eye. Finally, she leapt, grabbing one of the glowing chains mid-air. The machine tried to pull her in. Instead, she swung herself upward, body twisting until she landed on top of the machine. Gasps filled the chamber. Mara crouched the howitzer, Ray, straddling the Sentinel's smooth metal body like it was nothing more than a horse beneath her. He pointed sharply. Prove your strength in combat, human. No words, no stares, face me. Mara turned, her smile sharp as a blade. Combat? She said lightly. Sweetheart, you wouldn't survive the warm-up. Laughter rippled from a few younger counselors, though they tried to hide it behind their hands. The bronze-skinned alien roared, stepping down into the circle. His height dwarfed Mara, his fists like hammers. "Stand and fight, woman!" But Mara only tilted her head, lips curling with that dangerous softness. She didn't even move her arms. Instead, she looked back at the tall man behind her. "Darling," she said, voice dripping with flirty play, "should I break him myself, or do you want the warm-up?" The man chuckled. "Oh, I'll keep score, but watching you break him sounds entertaining." Gasps filled the chamber. A fight was about to begin, but not the kind the aliens expected. Mara stepped into the circle with the bronze warrior. Her movements were slow, deliberate, like a dancer. "Remember this, boys," she said, smiling at the council rows. "Humans can be dangerous, even when we're having fun." The bronze alien swung, heavy, brutal, aiming to crush. Mara slipped aside like smoke. She tapped his arm with her fingers, feather light. "Too slow," she whispered with a wink. The alien snarled and swung again, harder, faster. Mara ducked low, slid past his legs, and tapped his back. "Missed again," she teased. The chamber filled with laughter and tension. Each time he attacked, she avoided him effortlessly, never striking, never harming, only smiling, only teasing. And every whisper she left in his ear was like a knife. "You think strength is fists. You think power is size. But tell me, who looks weak right now?" The bronze warrior panted, sweat glistening on his scales, his fists slowed. Mara leaned close as he missed again, whispering against his ear, "God, Ols, do you want me to stop playing, or keep making you sweat?" The chamber exploded with gasps and nervous chuckles. Kavax's eyes burned with fury, and something else. Pride, cracking deeper. The bronze warrior dropped to his knees, unable to land a single blow. Mara stepped back, fixing her uniform, breathing steady. Her smile was sharp, flirty, victorious. She looked at Kavax directly. "Still think humans are weak?" Kavax's claws dug into the chair arms. His silence was the loudest sound in the room. Mara leaned forward, eyes glittering. "Careful, my lord. Your council might start wondering what else I could make you do." The chamber shook with whispers, fear, desire, rage, and something new no alien wanted to name. And then, the doors at the far end of the chamber opened again. More footsteps echoed. Not human, not alien. Something else. A figure cloaked in shadow entered. The council froze. Even Mara's smile flickered for half a second. "Ah," the cloaked figure said, voice smooth as poison. "So, this is the human who breaks pride." The chamber fell deathly silent. Who was this new arrival? And was he here to stop Mara, or to test her charm himself? The cloaked figure moved slowly, every step echoing on the polished floor. He was not like the others. Not like Kavax, not like the bronze warrior. Even the proud counselors leaned back in unease, as if his presence pulled something dark from the air itself. The cloak shifted, and beneath it gleamed armor unlike anything seen before. Dark, smooth, flowing like liquid metal. It was alien, yet the shape of the body inside was unmistakably human. Gasps rippled. "Impossible," one elder whispered. "No human could gain council armor," another hissed. Mara tilted her head, lips curling with dangerous amusement. "Oh, now this is interesting," she purred. The armored figure pulled back his hood. And there, it was, a human face. Sharp jaw, piercing eyes, a scar slicing across one cheek like lightning frozen in skin. But the way he stood, the way the council looked at him, told a different story. The beast's jaws clamped down on empty floor. The crash sent tremors through the chamber. She spun, hair whipping, her eyes glittering. "Too slow, sweetheart. Don't tell me that's all you've got." The beast bellowed again, whipping its tail across the chamber. Mara dropped low, sliding beneath the swing, her fingertips grazing the floor before she rose again. Counselors gasped at her movements. Too human, too fluid, too daring. Every dodge looked less like survival and more like seduction. The bronze-scaled warrior muttered, voice trembling, "She makes even death look like a dance." Kavak slammed his claw. "This is no dance! End her!" The beast lunged again, faster this time. Mara spun aside, the hot breath of its jaws brushing her shoulder. She laughed, breathy, daring, dangerous. Almost had me. Try again, big boy." The armored man shook his head, but his eyes betrayed a flicker of admiration. She wasn't just dodging, she was controlling the rhythm, like she'd turned the chamber into her stage. The beast circled, metal claws gouging the floor. Its eyes narrowed. It was learning. This time, when it lunged, it feinted left before snapping right. Mara almost didn't see it. The jaws grazed her arm, tearing a line across her sleeve. The chamber gasped. Mara looked at the rip, at the skin beneath, flushed but unbroken. Her lips parted into a sly smile. "Well now, you like it rougher than I thought." Kavak slammed his claw again, but this time the council didn't laugh. Some of them shifted in their seats, unsettled by the strange heat in Mara's words. The beast lunged again, this time pinning her between its jaws and the wall. Mara pressed flat, her body inches from razor metal. Her breath was fast, but her smile never faded. She leaned close, whispering like a lover's secret. "Is this where you wanted me? Pressed up against you?" The beast roared, confused by the tone, pulling back just enough for her to slip free. She twirled away, hair falling over one eye, her laughter echoing through the chamber. "Oh, darling, you're strong, but you're not in control." The armored man stepped closer to the fight, voice sharp. "Mara, enough playing, finish it." Her eyes flicked to him, teasing, hungry. "Why rush? I'm enjoying myself." But the beast wasn't done. It reared up, taller than any alien in the chamber, its chest glowing with red light. A new weapon, a hidden core. The armored man shouted, "It's charging! Get back!" Mara tilted her head, lips parting in delight. "Oh, you have a surprise for me?" Her voice dropped to a sultry whisper. "Show me then." The beast roared and unleashed a beam of burning energy from its chest. The floor exploded in sparks where Mara had been standing. Smoke filled the chamber. Counselors shielded their eyes. Kavaks rose to his feet, claws clenching. "Did we finally kill her?" The smoke swirled, and out of it, Mara emerged. Her uniform torn at the shoulder, dust clinging to her skin, but her eyes blazing hotter than ever. She licked her lips, voice soft, mocking. That tickled. The chamber froze. Even the beast faltered, as if unsure what it was facing anymore. Mara stepped forward, dusting herself off. Her voice carried across the chamber, low and steady. "You thought you built a beast that could break humans. But you don't understand. We break beasts." The armored man's eyes narrowed. "Mara, what are you planning?" She smirked, tilting her head toward the massive creature. "Oh, nothing big," she said sweetly. "Just wondering if I should tame him or break him." The beast snarled, pawing the ground, preparing another charge. The council leaned forward, trapped between terror and fascination. Mara spread her arms wide, teasing smile glittering. "Come on then, sweetheart. Shh, ow me if you're all bark. Or if you can really bite." The beast roared and charged again.